Hello dear students, in my previous video on differential equations, I have discussed about solving a differential equation and the growth models, that is the population growth model and compound interest. In this video, I'll discuss about the remaining growth and decay models, Newton's law of cooling, and then carbon dating, and finally drug assimilation. First, we will see Newton's law of cooling. According to Newton's law of cooling, it says the rate of change of temperature T of a body is proportional to the difference between T and the temperature of the surrounding medium. So here the rate of change of the temperature of a body, that is dt by d small t, where t is the time. This is proportional to the difference between the temperature of the body and the temperature of the surrounding medium A. So this is proportional to T minus A. So we can write dt by dt equal to minus k into T minus A, where k greater than 0 is a constant. If the temperature of the body is greater than the temperature of the surrounding medium, if T is greater than A, then we have dt by dt less than 0, which means the temperature of the body is a decreasing function of time and the body is cooling. On the other hand, if the temperature of the body is less than the temperature of the surrounding medium, then we have dt by dt greater than 0. It means the temperature of the body is an increasing function of time and the body is heating. So here we can see that the physical law, Newton's law of cooling, it is translated into a differential equation, and if we know the value of K and A, we can determine the temperature T of the body at any time T. So now let us derive the mathematical model for this using differential equations. So here we have dt by dt equal to minus k into T minus A. So from this we have dt upon T minus A equal to minus k dt. Now we can integrate both sides. So when we integrate both sides, we get log T minus A equal to minus kt plus c. Now this is to the base e. So from this we have T minus A equal to e raised to minus kt plus c, or it is equal to e raised to minus kt into e raised to c. Now this e minus c, I am writing it as lambda. So T minus A equal to lambda into e raised to minus kt. So this is the mathematical model which we can use to find the temperature at any time T if we know A and lambda. Now here is an example using the same law. We will apply this law and find the answer for this question. A cake is taken out from an oven when its temperature has reached 185 degree Fahrenheit and is placed on a table in a room whose temperature is 75 degree Fahrenheit. If the temperature of the cake reaches 150 degree Fahrenheit after half an hour, what will be its temperature after 45 minutes? So here it is given a cake is taken out from an oven when the temperature has reached 185 degree Fahrenheit. So the cake, when it was taken out from the oven, the temperature was 185 degree Fahrenheit and the room temperature is given as 75 degree Fahrenheit. And then it is given the temperature of the cake reaches 150 degree Fahrenheit after half an hour. We need to know the temperature after 45 minutes. So I just now derived the model. So by Newton's law of cooling, we have T minus A equal to lambda into e raised to minus kt, where T is the temperature of the body and A is the room temperature. So the room temperature is given as 75. So we have T minus 75 equal to lambda into e raised to minus kt. Now first let us find lambda. Let us mark this as equation 1. And first let us find lambda. Here it is given at time t equal to 0, the temperature is 185 degree Fahrenheit. So at t equal to 0, the temperature is 185 degree Fahrenheit. Therefore, from 1 we have 185 minus 75 equal to lambda into e raised to 0 into k. So, it is e raised to 0. So, from this we get lambda equal to 110 degree Fahrenheit. So, the first equation becomes t minus 75 equal to 110 into e raised to minus kt. Let us mark this as equation 2. Now, the next information which is given is if the temperature of the cake reaches 150 degrees in half an hour. So, the temperature of the cake reaches 150 degrees in half an hour. So, using this we can find the value of k. So, here half an hour we can take it as 30 minutes because we need to find the temperature after 45 minutes. So, the unit is in minutes. So, when t equal to 30 minutes, the temperature is t equal to 150. So, from this, if we substitute in equation 2, we have 150 minus 75 equal to 110 into e raised to minus 30k. So, 150 minus 75 is 75. So, 75 equal to 110 into e raised to minus 30k, or from this we have e raised to minus 30k equal to 75 upon 110. Now, this when we divide we get 0.6818. Let us take this as 3. Now, we need to find the temperature after 45 minutes. So, when t equal to 45 minutes, we need to find the temperature T. So, from the second equation, T minus 75 equal to 110 into e raised to minus 45k. We already have e raised to minus 30k as 0.6818. So, e raised to 45 we can write it as e raised to minus 30k the whole raised to 1 by 5. Whole raised to 1.5. Since 30 into 1.5 is 45. So, this is equal to 110 into 0.6818 the whole raised to 1.5. Now, this 0.18 the whole raised to 1.5, it is 0.563, or this is equal to 61.93. So, from this we have t is equal to 75 plus 61.93, or it is equal to 136.93. So, after 45 minutes, the temperature reaches 136.93 degree Fahrenheit. Now, moving on to the next model, carbon dating. First, we will see what is carbon-14. Carbon-14 is also known as radiocarbon. It is a radioactive form of carbon which is found in all living plants and animals. And this radiocarbon, it disintegrates after the plant or animal dies. Now, what is the use of this carbon-14? This carbon-14, it is used to find the age of remains of plants and animals. Scientists can find an estimate of age of the remains of plants and animals by comparing the amount of radiocarbon in these remains with those present in the living plants and animals. So using the amount of radiocarbon present in living plants and animals, scientists can estimate the age of the remains. Remains means the bones or all those things which we get. If you want to estimate the age of those, then carbon dating is useful. Now we will see how differential equations comes into picture. So let us take, let A of t be the mass of carbon 14 after t years. Now this rate of change of this mass, it is proportional to the mass. So that is dA by dt equal to minus k into A. Since over a period of time the mass reduces, we have a negative k here. Now from this we have dA upon A equal to minus k dt. We can integrate both sides. So we get log A equal to minus kt plus c. Now this is to the base e. So from this we have A is equal to e raised to minus kt plus c, or it is equal to e raised to minus kt into e raised to c. Now this e raised to c, we can write it as a naught. A is equal to a naught into e raised to minus kt, where a naught is the mass of carbon 14 present in living plants and animals. So using this model, we can estimate the age of the remains. We can find t if we know a naught and k. Here is an example. The amount of radiocarbon present after t years is given by A equal to a naught into e raised to minus ln 2 into 1 by 5700 t, where a naught is the amount present in living plants and animals. First subdivision, find the half-life of radiocarbon. Second subdivision, charcoal from an ancient pit contained 1/4 of the carbon 14 found in living sample of same size. Estimate the age of charcoal. So here the amount of radiocarbon present after t years is given. The model is given directly here, where a naught is the amount present in living plants and animals. First is we need to find the half-life of radiocarbon. Then we will move on to the next subdivision. So this ln 2, it is nothing but it is log 2 to the base e. Ln 2 is log 2 to the base e. We usually have log 2 to the base 10. Now this is common logarithm, whereas this is natural logarithm. So if it is to the base e, it is denoted using this symbol ln. Now coming to the first subdivision, so the model is given as a equal to a naught into e raised to minus ln 2 into 1 by 5700 t. We need to find the half-life of radiocarbon. Half-life of radiocarbon means here the mass have become half. So when a equal to a naught by 2, then 1 implies a naught by 2 equal to a naught into e raised to minus ln 2 1 by 5700 t. So these two will go. So we have half is equal to e raised to minus ln 2 1 by 5700 t. Now if we take log on both sides, we have, or we can write before that, we can write this one more step, e raised to ln 2 1 by 5700 t is equal to 2. Now taking log on both sides, we have ln 2 1 by 5700 t equal to ln 2. Now these two will go. From this we get t is equal to 5700 years. So the half-life of radiocarbon is 5700 years. So it takes 5700 years to become half its original size. Now moving on to the next subdivision B. It is given charcoal from an ancient pit contained 1/4 of the carbon 14 found in living sample of same size. Estimate the age of charcoal. So here we are given the mass has become 1/4 of the mass of the living sample. So A equal to 1 by 4 A naught. We need to find the age of the charcoal. So from 1 we have A naught by 4 equal to A naught into e raised to minus ln to 1 by 5700 T. So we have e raised to ln to 1 by 5700 T. This is equal to 4. Now this 4 we can write it as 2 square. Now we can take log on both sides. So when we take log on both sides, we have ln to 1 by 5700 T. This is equal to log ln 2 square will be 2 ln 2. This property we have studied in logarithms. So this is equal to 2 ln 2. So ln 2 will cancel. From this we get T is equal to 5700 into 2, or it is equal to 11,400 years. So the age of charcoal is 11,400 years. Moving on to the next model. First we will see what is drug assimilation into the blood. If we take a single common cold pill, here what happens is the drug enters into the gastrointestinal tract, it diffuses into the blood, and from there it is moved through the tissues, and finally it is expelled out of the body again through this tract. And now we will see how we can model this. So intake is when a single pill is taken and no more drugs are taken later. Then the rate of change of drug in the gastrointestinal tract, it is equal to rate of drug intake minus rate at which the drug leaves the gastrointestinal tract. So if we take x of t as the amount of drug at time t in gastrointestinal tract, and x of 0 equal to x naught equal to amount of drug taken initially, then the rate of change of drug in the gastrointestinal tract, it is given by dx by dt. Now this dx by dt is proportional to the amount of drug x, or we have dx by dt equal to minus k into x, because over a period of time the amount of drug reduces. So we have a negative sign here. So it is a decay model. So we have dx by x equal to minus k dt. When we integrate both sides, we get log x is equal to minus kt plus c. This is to the base e. So we have x is equal to e raised to minus kt plus c, or it is equal to e raised to minus kt into e raised to c. Now e raised to c, it is nothing but it is the amount of drug which is taken initially at time t equal to 0. When we put t equal to 0 and x equal to x naught, we get e raised to c as x naught. Therefore, the model is x equal to x naught into e raised to minus kt. So this is the model. Now let us see an example. It is given Nembutal, a sodium salt, acts as a sedative and has many applications. Suppose Nembutal is used to anesthetize a dog. The dog is anesthetized when its bloodstream concentration contains at least 45 mg of sodium pentobarbital per kg of the dog's body weight. If the rate of change of sodium pentobarbital, say x in the body, is proportional to the amount of drug present in the body, show that sodium pentobarbital is eliminated exponentially from the dog's bloodstream, given that its half-life is 5 hours. What single dose should be administered in order to anesthetize a 50 kg dog for 1 hour? If we read each sentence slowly and if we solve step by step, this is a very easy question which can be solved. So here it is given Nembutal, or it is a sodium salt. It acts as a sedative and it is used for anesthesia purposes. And first it is considered Nembutal is used to anesthetize a dog. And the next information which is given is the dog is anesthetized when its bloodstream concentration contains at least 45 mg of the sodium salt per kg of the dog's body. So we need minimum 45 mg in the dog's body so that it is anesthetized. And then it is given if the rate of change of sodium pentobarbital, say X, in the body is proportional to the amount of drug present. So here we have the first step. So the rate of change of this sodium salt, it is proportional to the amount of drug present in the body. So we have dx by dt is proportional to x. So from this we have dx by dt equal to minus kx. Or let us solve this differential equation. Dx by x equal to minus kt. When we integrate both sides, we get log x is equal to minus k dt. Log x is equal to minus kt plus c. This is to the base e. So from this we have x is equal to e raised to minus kt into e raised to c. Or we have x is equal to x naught into e raised to minus kt, where x naught is the initial amount. So let us mark this as equation 1. And now it is given its half-life is 5 hours. That is x is equal to x naught by 2 in t is equal to 5 hours. So from this we have the first equation implies x naught by 2 equal to x naught into e raised to minus 5k. So we have half is equal to e raised to minus 5k, or e raised to 5k equal to 2. Let us mark this as equation 2. And now coming to the question. What single dose should be administered in order to anesthetize a 50 kg dog for 1 hour? So at the end of 1 hour, the amount of sodium pentobarbital in the blood, it should be at least 45 mg per kg of dog's body weight. So for a 50 kg dog, it will be 50 into 45. Amount of drug after 1 hour should be 45 mg per kg into 50 kg. So the amount of drug should be 2250 mg. And now it is asked what drug should be given initially to anesthetize this 50 kg dog for 1 hour. So for x is equal to 2250 mg and t equal to 1 hour, we need to find x naught. That is the initial amount that has to be administered. So 1 implies, from here we can find, 1 implies 2250 equal to x naught into e raised to minus k. So we get this. Now we already got e raised to 5k as 2. So e raised to k will be 2 raised to 1 by 5. So from this we have x naught is equal to 2250 into e raised to k Now here e raised to 5k equal to 2. It means e raised to k equal to 2 raised to 1 by 5. So this is equal to 2250 into 2 raised to 1 by 5. So 2 raised to 1 by 5 is 1.149 into 2250. So x naught is equal to 2585 mg. So if a single dose of 2585 mg is administered to a 50 kg dog, it will be in anesthesia for 1 hour. So the amount required to anesthetize a 50 kg dog for 1 hour is 2585 mg. I hope this video was useful for you. In my next video, I will solve the exercise questions on growth and decay model. Thank you for watching.